Hello, my name is Ágata Ramos Simões, and this is the short story that I've written, The Sparkle. Once upon a time, long, long ago, when tigers smoked and giraffes had feathers, this absolutely truthful tall tale happened. In Candlebright Kingdom, the creativity fire was going out. It could be felt in the atmosphere. There was a light dimness in all times of day. The night was pitch black, and the moon could hardly be seen, and, the most definite sign, poets were scarce. Before, not that long ago, months, even weeks, you turned a rock and there was a poet making verses. Now, all rocks laid bare. Before, writers kept being bored by cats, theirs, the neighbors, and even strangers' cats. Now, that hardly ever happened because no one wrote. Before, cats had to be chased down from tables, chairs, and notebooks. Now, no feline bothered. It was a grim sight. All around the kingdom, citizens shouted inane words such as index funds, buy Ethereum, gold and digital coins, silver and cryptocurrency. Think of your retirement plan. Invest, invest. The tax man is here. The taxes, the dividends. Who's your accountant? Everyone was going mad. But this was cyclical and predicted by the elders. It was time, they said, for the prince of the land to go to the monster's lair and steal the dragon's fire. This was creativity's flame lighting up the kingdom. Not only its arts, passion, inner fire, or will to live with authenticity and joy, but also its heart and soul. The flaming beam was life itself. If it lessened, life would go out. No babies would be born, and humans would turn sterile. In the past, many times this tragedy almost came to pass, but every time the kingdom's prince would do his duty, go out in his horse and get a dragon's flaming sparkle to light up the kingdom throughout the centuries. The big divine candle in the middle of the sacred mountain, well, more like a hill. Picnics were held there on the whereabout cans. The magnificent candle was light up by the dragon's sparkle, maintaining the land's existence for centuries. The last one lasted for almost 400 years. Everybody knew, at least for the last 10 years, that eventually the prince would have to go and fulfill his mission. Now I'm gonna make a little pause for my ad. I have a book called The Werewolf Angel in my Amazon page, and you can go and read it if you like. It's really funny. It's about an angel who got transformed into a werewolf. Okay, so let's continue on to my short story. This, however, was a stupid, greedy, good-looking prince. He ate popcorn and chased piglets. He applauded the royal parents on inappropriate occasions. He smiled all the time, and his black hair was always impeccable. He possessed the most esteemed cape, taking particular note on its cleanliness, and walked around like the truly selfish, ludicrous, pompous ass he was. Suffice to say, he was one of the best princes the land had ever had. So off he went, certain he'd accomplish the mission and restore the light to the kingdom. After 3 days, one of which saw neither sun nor moon, he returned, without cape a horse, limping and furious, holding triumphantly some sort of glowing vase in his right hand. His stupid, imbecile smile ever present, but his expression denouncing a hint of fear. A fear he had, or a fear he has now? Beatrice asked herself. She was 16 and relieved. Lots had been drawn. The pool was all the youth of the land, from 16 to 26 years. If the moron didn't return, she was the first in line to go next to the monster's den. Beatrice never liked the prince. Even though she was glad that Crichton saved the day, she couldn't help notice something else hidden behind his bravado facade, something dark and sinister, along with a deep, deep dread one could only sense by noticing his eyes. He made a victorious speech. Beatrice smirked. Her mother reproached her behavior with stern looks. She didn't care. This guy was an idiot. Talking about how he scared the dragon so much it pissed itself. How he saved his beloved horse from being eaten by the beast by using his own body as a shield. How he stood proud, and how his daring courage and cavernous voice frightened the monster so that he was quaking in his boots. Please, thought Beatrice, while everyone laughed. The prince then took the sparkle and rode home. There it was, for all to see. Well, thought Beatrice, the last time brightness was stolen from the dragon, it was more than 400 years ago, so who's to tell how it's supposed to look like? That thing, however, looked grim, a lurid, forbidding light, if that makes sense. After the ceremony, where brightness sparkle was tossed inside the candle, Beatrice, her mom, and younger brother returned home. She sensed something was off, and commented on it to her mother, who scolded Beatrice again for lacking benign trust. So she kept quiet. And over the next 2 years, brightness burned luminously, but in such a way that people no longer created things of joy, or expressed themselves with authenticity and courage. It was as if everything had a different set of colors, and even the moon seemed depressed. Beatrice tried to talk to her, but got ignored. The moon preferred poets and wanderers. Unfortunately, Beatrice was the distrustful and pragmatic type. Her mother called her suspicious as a boulder. She liked that. On her 18th birthday, she was summoned secretly at night by the elders for a meeting. And there the suspected truth was revealed. The idiot prince, thick as a cardboard, did not bring the right light. He brought in the wrong flame. If it keeps on burning and sparkling, it will poison us all in 5 years. He got tricked, the daft boy. Now his mistake must be corrected, Beatrice. You are number 1 on the lots. We will give you 7 days. If you don't return with a correct, inspiring sparkle, the one after you will be sent to face the dragon. Here is your horse, a map, and some supplies. May the true heart's path guide your ways. Accomplish the mission, Beatrice, for all of our sake. The head elder looked gravely at her, his eyes on the brink of tears, and then closed the door. She turned around and saw the blue-purple stallion. They walked side by side, both knowing what awaited. 3 days in, she saw at a distance the dragon's lair. Bravely, she went inside. Another one, he said. A girl. I haven't tasted a girl in centuries. Tell me, little one, how do you taste? All his scales glittered in waves on and off. as if a sea squid full of glimmer with beautiful bright metallic colors. The light came in waves, and when he seemed more enthusiastic, the light was bright, with the waves picking up the pace, as if a tempest on an ocean made of colors. "I taste well," she said, having no idea if that was indeed true. Perhaps Beatrice was lying to the dragon, but she didn't care. "Care to savor?" Beatrice offered, extending her left hand. She could afford to lose one, she thought. Maybe even a foot. Perhaps an ear. The dragon was taken aback by her lack of fright, good manners, and matter-of-fact behavior. "Have you ever seen a dragon?" he asked. "You're the first," she answered, looking right into his big, bright black and yellow eye. "And what do you think?" he inquired, showing her his full, heavy, reddish, bright-colored body by doing a little turn. "You're big. Your scales are beautiful." "They are," he sat down, "and I suppose you want one of them, like the dim-witted prince who showed up weeks ago. 2 years. He came 2 years ago. Time, you know, fades." And he curled like a cat to sleep. "He asked for a scale," she said. "Yes," he replied, "and you gave him one." "I obliged," he replied, smirking. After a silence, Beatrice guessed. He didn't ask for the sparkle, only for a scale. Clever girl. "I asked for the sparkle," she said. "And what else? Tea and crackers?" "Yes, please. Oh, no, wait." And she ran off, returning soon enough with a bundle. While opening it, the dragon saw bread, beverages, cheese, dried rabbit meat, and fish. "Let's eat," she said, offering him most of the food. Nobody visited the dragon, out of fear of being eaten. Mostly an empty promise, for the dragon hadn't eaten anything, let alone people, for more than 600 years. He was waiting to die. Only 100 more to go, and he'd be done with life. It had no taste. He was bored, sad, and depressed, and wanted to exit. Exit and enter heaven's cozy lair. Life on the kingdom was difficult for his bereft dragon heart. But this was the first time a human had come to him with offerings, and not to take. This was his first gift ever. A dragon's tear fell into Beatrice's cup. She was puzzled, but put it away. The dragon ate and understood that this kindness would prolong his life another 50 years. Resigned to this, he gave her part of his sparkle. He reached between the scales and took a tiny multicolored crystal, and as he offered it, he said to the young girl, "It will last 3 centuries. If I expire, so does your kingdom, and all will die. I was before you arrived. Trying to die for life is tasteless. You now owe me 50 years of a happy life. Promise you'll come back with joy." And so she did. Every month she would travel to the dragon's lair with brand new stories, inventions, and poems. Not one of those from her, but created by many in the kingdom. When she died, her descendants carried on the mission. And so the dragon and the kingdom both lived on happily. I wrote this, the end of the story. I wrote this on January 3rd, 2021. So about 3 years ago. And it has 1,640 words. So again, I do a little pause for an ad for my book, Werewolf Angel, which you can find on my Amazon page, Ágata Ramos Simões, that's my name. And you can read it, it's funny. It's about an angel who gets turned into a werewolf and he's trying to get out of that curse, and it's funny. Well, to me, it's funny. So if you like it, please go in and see that book. Check out that book too. And I hope you like this short story. Okay? Bye bye.